Hi, it's Bruce with WeedersDigest.com, and I want to walk through today a report for you as provided by the Minnesota State Department of Natural Resources about aquatic plant management. And I am going to try to talk as fast as I possibly can to get you through a lot of information here. It's 39 pages of facts that are reported. This is not a weed roller sales pitch. This is not a Bruce Wallstrom or a Weeder's Digest sales pitch. These are the facts as provided by a 39-page report of years of studies and years of surveys that have been taken by the Minnesota State Department of Natural Resources, which is our highest government office when it comes to managing our waterways. Now, this report takes into the fact of surveys that were done of people that had put in permit applications, and during this time, again, they are referring to an AUAPCD that is referencing a weed roller because it is automated, unattended, aquatic plant control device. And one of the things that you're going to see in here that I think is, it talks about the value of aquatic plants, and it points out that they are very important to our ecosystem. In fact, I believe there is a point in here that actually states that it's very important for the moose population. So maybe you didn't know that, but it's apparently the weeds are the aquatic plants are very important to that. Now, in the course of each year, this is year by year, there are several thousand permits that are issued for aquatic plant management devices such as the weed roller. And so also in the state of Minnesota, nearly 50% of these permits that are issued for weed control are actually for weed roller type devices, very contrary to what most states that have never even seen the weed roller before. In Minnesota, it is that popular of a product. Now, one of the things that the satisfaction report is phenomenal. This is the greatest thing I could ever share with anybody to try to sell them a weed roller. What this says is, in the thousands of surveys that they've done year after year, 59% of all people that use herbicides are satisfied. 59% are satisfied. 56% say that they are satisfied with using mechanical methods like a harvester. And then get this, here is an incredible statement. 98% of all people that use a product such as the weed roller say that they are satisfied. 98%. Now, I will also say that there are a couple of other tools out there that make up that 98%. One in particular that actually would drag down that 98% from what it probably would have been at more like 99 had it not been for one of those other devices that's brought into this mix. Also, another thing that's pointed out, that 75% of all devices are individually owned. The other 25% are borrowed, shared, or rented. It also points out in this report that these devices are found on 600 lakes in the state of Minnesota. And so, again, if you're outside of Minnesota, you may have never heard of the weed roller before, and here in the state of Minnesota, it's a fairly common product that's out there and has been out there for in excess of 15 years. So it's a very tried and true product. I know that. I've got one on my shoreline. My neighbors know that. They've got them. And the people all around me and the people that I've sold to that own weed rollers, they already know these results of the 98% satisfaction level. But to be able to share it with you, to be able to get it in this report is phenomenal. And so if you need more information, go to weedroller.mn, or you can also go to YouTube. We've actually put a video on. This is actually a quick little view of that video showing how to fill out a weed roller permit if you are in the state of Minnesota, or just simply go to the Weed Roller Help Desk, and where you'd find that is at our website called weedroller.mn, or you can certainly find it through WeedersDigest.com, and there's our contact numbers as well. But again, I really want to just be able to share with you and summarize a couple of very important parts here, and that is the fact that this is a phenomenal tool. I just want to go back to our phone. We really do consider ourselves to be the help desk when it comes to aquatic plant management. And when I hear the number 59% of the people that use herbicides are satisfied, well, I would almost beg to differ with that, because all day long I hear of people that tell me that they saw no result or minimal result with herbicides. And I can tell you that if you're using a qualified applicator to do the work, they have a better satisfaction level, I'm sure, and I do know of some good ones if you do need a reference on something like that. However, just compare that 59% with a weed roller of 98% satisfaction. And again, these reports have been and surveys have been put together for years, and that 98% was actually 2 years in a row. And again, we're not talking about a small sampling here. We're talking about thousands of people sampled, satisfied owners, over 600 different lakes that these are on just in Minnesota. And of course, again, if you're outside of Minnesota, we have shipped them to, I can't say every state, but we certainly have shipped to every corner of the United States, through our hands with the weed roller. And so, again, I promise this wouldn't be a sales pitch. I'm just simply reporting facts. And when I see numbers like that of a report that comes from a governmental agency that typically is not real excited about people managing their shorelines, they'd rather see things go more natural. But when I see that they can report details like this, and then when I know that it's a product that does not do any damage to any of the ecosystem outside of that arc, and that the weed roller is simply not having a drift of chemicals. I mean, think about that. 59% people disappointed with herbicides, and on top of that, they may not even be considering the fact of what they're doing to the environment by allowing those herbicides to drift, and kids swimming in those same spots, and people taking fish from them. And those are things that the weed roller just doesn't cause. But I think I'm starting to move from my facts that I was going to share to opinions and sales pitch. So with that in mind, I'm going to sign off here. And if you got questions, if you need information, again, this is Bruce with weedroller.mn or weedersdigest.com. So it's www.weedroller.mn or www.weedersdigest.com. And the phone number again, 877-224-4899. Again, that's 877-224-4899. I look forward to hearing from you, answering any questions you got. And by the way, if you would like a copy of this 39-page report, I can certainly email you a copy of it as well. And again, don't take my word for it. In this case, I get to tell you, take the government's advice, and that is that the weed roller has a 98% satisfaction rating. Thanks. I'll look forward to hearing from you.